Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Mirai Club. Today I want to talk about the free rentals that you get with the Mirai. For those of you that are new Mirai owners, existing Mirai owners, or considering being a Mirai owner, it might interest you that Toyota at least provides a 21-day rental credit or 3 years, whatever comes first, for at least, from my knowledge, new Mirai owners, people that purchase Mirais. I don't know if you get that if you lease one. Confirm with you can check the website, but yeah. So the holidays are coming up, and people are wanting to use rental credits to go out of state. As many of you know or may not know, the Mirai or any hydrogen vehicle for that matter, you're pretty much stuck in California. You can, if you're in NorCal, in the Bay, you can make your way into, is it Oregon a little bit? Let me just check. But pretty much you're stuck in California, and therefore those rental credits are useful when you want to do a road trip or whatnot. So yeah, so you can get into Nevada, that is, if you're in the Bay. The last station that you'll have is right before Reno, and then you could probably make your way into Nevada for a little bit, and then head on back to the station. So, but you're pretty much stuck in California. So if you're stuck in California, what can you do? Use those rental credits. What are those rental credits? Long story short, Toyota gives you the ability to go to a dealership that sells Mirais, not they can't just sell a used Mirai. They have to be an authorized dealer to sell new Mirais. That's very key because if you call a Toyota dealership that does not sell Mirais, they'll give you two answers. One, no, we cannot support that Toyota Mirai swap program. And two, they'll have no idea what you're talking about. I've called a couple dealers, and I get a couple of responses, but generally speaking, they have no idea. They have to ask their managers. Managers sometimes have no idea, and essentially tell you to call somewhere else. So with these credits, you can go out of state, whatnot. You rent the car from a Toyota dealership. Just say what you do is call in. You say, I would like a Mirai swap, please. Usually they will know what you're talking about. If you're going to a place that sells Mirais, they should be well versed in that. I was recommended, and generally speaking, it's a good practice, that you call a week in advance prior to your rental start date. Especially during the holidays, what's recommended, what I've been told, and what I've experienced is that you rent a vehicle at least, or scheduled a rent at least a month out before. So if you're looking to rent a car on the week of Christmas or New Year's or Thanksgiving, think in advance and make sure you have that appointment in at least a month before, at least. So you call the dealership, you ask for a Mirai swap, say great, you set your dates, you head in and go to the service desk and you say, I'm here for a Mirai swap. They'll essentially treat it just like a rental. I mean, it is, but like any other customer, that is. So they will not hold the car for you, at least from my experience, and I get why. So you're gonna actually have to take an Uber or have someone drop you off or find a way to get to the dealership to actually do that swap. Keep that in mind. And in terms of vehicle availability and kind of choices, really depends. If it's a slow time, from my experience, they're a little bit more generous in what you want. If you are looking for like a larger vehicle, like a minivan or whatnot for the holidays, and you want to take your family somewhere or a couple friends, you should call earlier the better. Yeah, generally speaking, you don't have much choice, not many choices, so you want to call in. And a couple other things, the dealership I chose. So my car is coming up on 3 years in at the end of February, and I have about 17 days remaining on my Mirai credits. And what I want to do is during the holidays, I want to maximize the amount of savings I could potentially get from driving around. And I'm going to be driving around quite a bit, as many of you probably are as well. And we all know how much hydrogen prices are. You're roughly looking at 53 cents a mile, which is a lot. And so what I'm trying to do is kind of hedge that spend with a rental and just using gas in a much more fuel efficient vehicle. So it'll save me a couple bucks and extend that hydrogen fuel card a little bit longer. So what I wanted to do is just extend it out as much as possible and kind of just use up all the days now. Call in. They said I can't do that because one, they're busy and they're booked up for the holidays. So I asked, what's the longest stint I could do? They said 7 days at a time. And this is at a dealership close by. And I heard the same at another dealership. So from two sources so far, and two dealerships in SoCal, that's a lot of Mirai dealers. There's not many to choose from, so it's a lot of them. So just keep that in mind. If you want to do an extended period, I'm sure they can. I'm sure they don't prefer it, but just keep that in mind from the information that I've got, 7 days. And also, I've called Toyota support to ask some more questions. One, it seems like the Toyota Mirai hotline is either non-existent anymore, or a dedicated team is non-existent anymore, or they're heavily cut. I've just noticed across the board that Toyota Mirai support has been getting a little less generous, and also support has not been as quick as before. So keep that in mind if you want to use your rental credits, and make sure you use them. They're free. They're yours to use. And maybe you want to test out a vehicle that you may want to replace your Mirai with. Mirai, yeah. So take a look. And last bit of info, not related to the rentals, but I've been reading some comments about one. I mean, the infrastructure is always the elephant in the room. My general hypothesis based on the sales numbers alone primarily is that I think hydrogen fueling is going to get a little bit easier for those of you that stick it through kind of in this dark period or one of the dark periods of owning a hydrogen vehicle. And quite simply, my logic comes from people are getting rid of them. Not as many people are purchasing at least new ones. And as far as I could tell, used ones aren't really flying off the shelves either. So with the number of lack of sales, new sales, and a base that is currently getting off of leases, or people that are kind of wrapping up or ending their fuel card balance or running out of their fuel card balance, I think they'll soon realize they'll have to make a move. So I do think if nothing changes, or not much changes in terms of new hydrogen vehicles from other brands, essentially if there's no demand, if there's less demand and the number of stations stay the same, I do think filling up will get easier. And also I do think that on the flip side, I do think perhaps funding won't be as available, and stations that have been in construction and are planned for construction may not happen, at least for the consumer side. Commercial, it's a different story, but that's my hypothesis. So anyway, I hope you found this useful. Safe travels during your holidays. Make sure to use those Mirai swap credits if you haven't used them already. 3 years or 21 days, and 21 days. Don't use them up in 3 years, you lose them. So make sure you use those. All right. Happy holidays, everyone. See you.